And good Wednesday morning. I hope your day is going well as we all gather together and prepare before the storm actually comes. And there is a storm coming. We want you to be well aware what is going to happen today. If you wouldn't mind, share the page so others can find out about it. If you've got someone that doesn't pay attention, doesn't follow this, suggest that they follow the page. We will be here live throughout the day. We will break in as updates are needed and go live, as I said, to tell you more about it. When it reaches a threat, a higher level of warnings, we will go live on Twin States News as well to blanket the market on Facebook, YouTube, and also on television today to make sure that you are safe. A couple of points that we want to make. Now, coming in this morning on the morning show, we will have the Lauderdale County Emergency Management Team. They will be here with us to discuss what is coming. Most likely, you will be without power at some point today. How long, we do not know. This is very, very strong winds are going to be involved with this, so that will down power lines. There's going to be a lot of rain with this. With that being said, that makes trees, and we already had some rain in the area that has loose soil, so you mix the wind with that, and, well, we've got issues, and power outages will most likely happen today. So be prepared. If you've got a generator, you've got a few hours before all this gets here. Make sure it'll crank. It would be good to be able to have power. Make sure to know what you're doing with this, how to turn them on and off when it comes to coming into your house. Now, if you've stepped outside this morning so far and you go, boy, it's windy, well, you hadn't seen nothing yet, as they say. Let me show you this of where we are right now. Let's pull this up and take a look of where we are. This is winds. Right now in the Meridian area, let me switch back over here to wind gust of what we've got. We've got gust of 38 miles an hour right now. It's going to be higher before this is done. This is going to move to anywhere from 55 to 60. When we get to actual storms today, this could be 80-mile-an-hour winds. And I said this, and we'll come back to that in just a second. I want to be clear on this. Whenever a thunderstorm warning is issued today, treat that as the worst thing that could happen. As I study everything about these storms, there could be 80-mile-an-hour shear winds or winds with these thunderstorm warnings, which is right at the tornado level. So treat every thunderstorm warning as if it were a tornado warning today, to be on the safe side. What they tell us is this will not be tornadoes that are in front of the storm, although it could happen, but most likely not. It will be within the thunderstorm, and by the time that the warning is issued, the tornado could already be on the ground. So let's treat everything as if it's the worst thing that's ever, when a warning is issued. Treat it at the highest respect, highest level, and take cover is what we want to do. Now let's go back and look at this as we look at some of these winds that are gusting across here. As you look here in the Meridian, and let's zoom in on here. Let's go up through Kemper County here and just take a look. As we go up, we make our way, have to zoom in a little bit longer, closer there. Scuba clocking in at about 24 miles an hour. We go over to DeKalb, 33-mile-an-hour gust. We go up 39 there towards Sugarlock, 32. We're sitting at right around 27 there in Sugarlock. Macon, Mississippi, 28. And we go Highway 14 all the way over here to Louisville. If you'll see, that's 30. When we get to Louisville, they're sitting at 36. As you get a little bit closer up here to State, you're looking at the same thing, about 30 right there. Now, as we come down through Noxapater, y'all are clocking in this morning. This is wind gusts right now, 38. Downtown Philadelphia, a little bit stronger, 40-mile-an-hour gusts right now. Out Highway 16, areas there, 41. We come down to Union, Mississippi, 40-mile-an-hour gust already. We come down, let's see here, Decatur, 38. Newton, 40. Hickory, 38. Chunky, about 38. So what we're showing here, now that's gust. Wind speed is a little bit different. As we look at the steady winds right now in the Meridian area are about 14, and you go over, and that's about sustained winds of about 14 to 15 right now. Again, this is going to be a very serious storm that comes our way. We want absolutely sure that everybody is safe. Now, as I spoke with Stormin' Norman last night, if you live in a mobile home, do not wait for this storm to come. With these winds that we're going to have today, go somewhere today. Stay with someone else that has a storm shelter. Plan ahead. The storms are supposed to hit somewhere around 5 to 9 p.m. But way ahead of this, these gusts, these winds, they can do damage before the storms even get here. And each and every life that is watching, each soul now, is very important. We want each of you to be safe. Somebody depends upon you. Yeah, no matter how big, how little, your life influences others. A lot of you are the breadwinners for your family. Well, we don't need anything to happen to you, do we? No, because they depend upon you. So pay attention. This is not a I'm a sissy if I no. This is being safe and being smart on everything. Weather is something to respect. Some people it doesn't bother. A lot of other people it worries them a little bit more. I respect weather, and I hope you do too, because it can be very, very dangerous of what we've got here. All right, let's go to radar now and look at what we've got going on already in Arkansas this morning. We've got a tornado warning already issued. As here's Mississippi. We come over here to Little Rock. This is the storm that's going to be getting its way here later. This is Fort Smith, Arkansas. We go due south of there, and we have a tornado warning that's been issued right there until 7 a.m. About, 24 minutes remaining on that, and that's going to be for northwestern Scott County in Arkansas. Now, as you'll look at this, you've seen storms that look worse. This will worsen today. This is ahead of the storm. We got thunderstorm warnings. This is that line that's going to be making its way over here. All of this coming up through here today. Now, if you look over here to Mississippi, here's Shreveport, here's Little Rock. We've got yellow blocks out there. That's a high wind advisory. As I mentioned, pay attention to what happens today. Here's Mississippi. It's gold, isn't it? Different color than we normally see. Alabama, for the most part, is a tan color, but the adjoining counties right here, right along the Meridian area, also have this gold color. What is it? Well, that is a high wind advisory, and as we pull this up, it's going to be in effect from 8 a.m. this morning until 7 o'clock tonight. Sustained winds of up to 35 miles an hour, and as we looked at that, on average right now, it's 15 miles an hour, which means it's going to get a lot worse. As it goes up, wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour. And this will be before the thunderstorms arrive. Very dangerous. It can break limbs. It can send trees through homes. I don't want to scare anybody. I'm trying to just be on the level with you and let you know exactly what is coming our way. So please pay attention to all of this. Now, let's look at our radar here, and let's go to severe weather. And let's go to today, which is the severe weather. Now, they've broadened this a little bit to where it was just barely down here in Alabama. It's taken in more of Alabama now. This is a level 1, this green here, west of Tyler, Texas, a level 2 from Tyler to Shreveport. This takes in from Columbus, Georgia, and Atlanta, in these areas. From Columbus back to Montgomery is a level 3 up through Huntsville. Nashville, y'all are a level 3. Jonesboro, Arkansas. Right here in the middle of the bullseye is Mississippi. A little bit on the side of us here, and right on the edge of Louisiana there, Alexandria, you're included with this, with us. Here is Monroe, Louisiana, Monroe. Anywhere from Monroe all the way over to Montgomery, Alabama is in this. Bullseye area. Crestview, Florida, Mobile, Alabama has been added to this as well. This will move through here this afternoon. You will see a line of storms when it comes across this that will stretch very heavy through these areas here. Meridian, right in the area that's included in anybody in the local area that watches us of what is coming this afternoon. I want you to be cautious and be aware of this. Now, I haven't even looked at this. We'll do this together this morning of severe weather. Let's look at what is forecasted of the general area of where tornadoes might. And this changes over to tornadoes, and it keeps it in the bullseye there. All of this area here is likely where tornadoes can come. Now, again, let me go back over what I've read with the National Weather Service of what is expected. Last week, what we had as these storms came through, it was a leading edge. And in front of these thunderstorms, we had long track tornadoes that were popping up ahead of the thunderstorms that were behind it as it come across. This week, now we can't rule that out of happening some, but what is expected on this is the tornadoes will be inside the thunderstorm. When a thunderstorm strikes, a tornado could be within it, and it will drop down quickly. It will give little time for warnings to be issued. So if you hear of a thunderstorm warning issued today, treat that as bad, because these will drop up and out, up and out. They're a little bit different than what we've seen in the others. Timing is everything. So I'm not trying to scare. I'm giving you the worst case scenario of everything that I've read of what will be happening with these storms. because they'll be quick. They won't stay on the ground very long. And that's why I say by the time a warning is issued, it could already be on the ground and back up and then stay up a little while, come back down. That's what I'm trying to describe. And hopefully I worded that correctly to where it makes sense. But this is the areas, again, that could have tornadic activity today, anywhere in here as we look at that on the map. Very serious stuff. We got some headlines we'll talk about in a minute. Now let's go and see what we've got weather-wise here, of what the National Weather Service, of what all they have forecasted for today. Let's get into that.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Record highs, record lows of today. 1946, we set a high record of 88 degrees. Right now we're at 70 as you're waking up. Our record low was back in 1894, a cool 27 degrees on this day. Now, this is the outlook for the state of Mississippi, our area for today. Meridian will hit about 84 to 85 with severe weather. Now, they're putting this line, as you'll look at this, for the severe weather to be right along this track here, very windy. Just Newton County, all of these areas here is what they're predicting. Be prepared for what we've got. Highs in Columbus, 83, and it'll do that at Mississippi State. 84 right around Louisville as we come down through Knox, Pater to Philadelphia. Over west, 82 in Vicksburg, down to Brookhaven, Hattiesburg, 82 to 85. And Natchez on the river will see about 82 also. Now, let's cut across to Alabama and look at their forecast. 85 in Tuscaloosa, Demopolis, as well as Livingston. We'll get to 81 in Hamilton. And on the eastern side of the state, it looks like Auburn will have 83. Now, this is the breakdown of what was just released from the National Weather Service just a few moments ago. 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. from Philadelphia east toward the Alabama state line. That's taking in the Hattiesburg area, Laurel, Columbus, and also just the Macon, Mississippi area. Now, if you live west of Philadelphia and you live in the Louisville area, your timeline is 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you live west of Jackson to Vicksburg, 1 to 5, and then if you live west of Vicksburg, back in the Louisiana side, it'll be noon to 3. So this is our timelines, and if you'll notice this is a 4 out of 5, and that's why I talk so much out of this. This is the only one level higher that could be more dangerous. We're there, and sometimes I don't want to get harped so much on levels because all of them are bad, and it's an imaginary line of 3 to 4 to a 5, but we're up there. Level 4, moderate risk with this. Again, let me repeat these words right here at the top of the screen. Do you see this? Winds of up to 80 miles an hour. Tornadoes are possible, and a strong tornado cannot be ruled out. We're expecting, for the most part, all of this to be strong winds. But again, tornadoes cannot be ruled out on this. They could be within the thunderstorms as they make their way to us today. That's what we're looking at. All right, let's look at winds of what regular winds of what we've got from the National Weather Service. Strong winds are likely. You see that? As sustained winds of 25 to 35. Gusts of 55, isolated to 60 within thunderstorms, could be 80. Down trees, power lines, all of that we've talked about. Do not, if you've got to go somewhere, especially if this involves children, vans, SUVs can be toppled by these winds. 18-wheelers, you've seen this in big cities as the Weather Channel and places like this video this where they flop over. This can happen very easily to a SUV, so be precautious. Don't travel unless you have to. If you're going down a road as well, you don't know how many people across America, when storms hit, that are killed by trees that fall on roadways, whether it lands on your car or you come around a curve and can't stop in time and slam into a tree. Safety is what we're here to tell you about. We want you to be safe, safe, safe. Alabama, let's look at y'all of what they're telling us from the National Weather Service. Here we are. Severe thunderstorms today. This over to Montgomery, Alabama, what we looked at. Those winds, still look at that, 80 miles an hour. As we go to the enhanced risk, this other side over here to Auburn here, 70. But this side by Mississippi will be the absolute worst, 5 to 10 p.m. from Demopolis back to Meridian area, and then from Demopolis east to Montgomery, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., and then all the way over to when we get into the areas there of Auburn. Expect that to be right at midnight. We'll keep you up to date on all of that as we look at these different storms. Now, still pretty much the same thing that we're expecting down here on the coast as we go to the Mobile area, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., and the further you go across here. Pensacola, y'all should get this as well, 11 to midnight in those areas. Very, very potential serious weather there. We're going to call this 3 as well here. All right, let's move ahead. New Orleans, that bad weather just north of you, level 3 for the New Orleans area. If you travel back and forth there. And again, let me remind you, if you have to travel places that have long bridges, this can be, there's no trees to block anything as you're crossing bridges. Just another reminder. I know I repeat myself sometimes, but never hurts to do that. What are we doing temperature-wise? Let's look at this, what the National Weather Service tells us. Cooler right now. We've got a warm trend that is on the way from the west. It will make its way across here. As we look at our extended forecast, here we go of what is expected today. And let's talk a little bit about this. Today, that high will be 83 to 84. What the National Weather Service tells us during these early parts of the day will be a 30% chance. As these thunderstorms reach us in the afternoon, it will jump to a 70% chance there. It's going to be damaging winds, very heavy rain. As we look at this, mainly after 3 o'clock. Very windy, gusting, 25 miles an hour there, of sustained winds increasing to sustained winds. Let me back on how I said that. Sustained winds are 20 to 25, then gusting up to 50. Tonight, we roll in. It increases to 100% chance of showers by 11 p.m. Should be ending there by 11. Should be out of our area there. Damaging winds, heavy rain, low around 54 is what we'll have. We will have 1 to 2 inches of rain once this is all said and done as it moves out. So you put that together with the amount of rain and wind, dangerous. 71 tomorrow, 72 tomorrow. Friday, we've got sunshine. Saturday, 76. We're going to watch this area as we jump over here. You see this Tuesday? Possibility of more severe weather coming our way next Tuesday. So this could be almost 3 weeks in a row. But we're going to get through today before we start harping about next week. As we look to this, temperatures through the 13th, we're going to be in the upper 70s before long and tapping 80 by the 10th, hovering right around that mark there. So that's kind of where we are on weather at the moment. Some serious stuff. Now, we're going to talk about some headlines and things that happen in the community and double back and check on some weather here. So don't rush off. We got all that for you here today. Scotty Ray's Weather. Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're building it, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group, Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. And good morning. Welcome, Pamela Franklin. We appreciate you watching. Joy Seal, glad to have you with here. Brandy Johnson, Donna Sims, Lamar Hembry, a few of the names that jump out at me on the screen there. Yesterday, if you were traveling in the Meridian area and you thought, wow, those fire trucks and people over there near Walmart. Well, there was a reason for that. As we pull this up, you can go to sammedia.network to find out more here. This was the scene. Here's Jack's. As you'll look at this picture, this is the street that comes. Here's Walmart on your right. That's Highway 39. That is Jack's. You see that backhoe? Whoops. It hit a gas line yesterday. It was numerous calls of I smell gas. And it was. A backhoe was digging and accidentally, it may have been an Atmos gas line underground that was tapped. It shut down the road there for a little bit of a couple hours there as they got that repaired. Gas was shut off. Everybody was safe. Everything was handled properly. The emergency management team was on site to make sure that that was handled properly as well. But all ended well on that story. That is good. We also saw a structure fire near Lauderdale yesterday. A home burned to the ground on the west side of Highway 45 there on Green Loop Road as we tracked what was going on. Now, also yesterday in Meridian, and I got several comments on this, and let me throw this up and show you this. When's the last time you had somebody come by and work on something for you? Well, the Roto-Rooter people did. Yep, this happened yesterday on the 2600 block of Poplar Springs Drive Guy was doing what he does for a living and walked back outside, and someone stole his van. It happens that quickly. The Meridian Police Department acted quickly. They were able to track the van. It was recovered. And from what I understand, the keys were never recovered for it. The criminal took them with us. So the van was towed back to where it should be. But don't leave your keys in anything, I guess, is for a second, for any reason. There's bad people, and they take things that aren't theirs, and that's what happened yesterday. So if you happen to see somebody driving a Roto-Rooter van without a uniform on, that was your criminal. They're still looking for him, by the way. Now, the next thing, this has gotten a lot of shares in our community. And whether you live in Meridian, if you're watching me from Jackson, Mississippi, or if you're watching from Seattle, Washington, wherever the case is that you're watching me from Alabama maybe. Criminals, this is something new. We don't know what they're up to. But it's happened to two ladies. I've spoken to one several times, and the other lady, I spoke to her yesterday once this happened here. Let me show you this picture here of what went on. This happened. She went in Ulta. This was down in the shopping center there at Crossroads. This is a police officer here with Meridian. She called 911. She came out. You see that right there? That's blocks under her tires. The first time that this was reported was over at right down from the hospitals at a Walgreens. A lady come out. They'd done the same thing to her car. We don't know what they're doing, but if you encounter this, call 911. Apparently, they want you to get out of your car. They're up to something. We haven't had an actual crime happen with this, but there's a reason for this. It would not be happening unless they were planning to do something they should not. So if you come out and there's like this under your tires blocking you to where you can't back up, call the Meridian Police Department or 911, someone like that. Don't be a victim of anything that is happening with this. It's just unclear at this point what the crime is or what they're trying to do. Whether it's robbery, steal your car, we don't know. But that's two incidents. The first time you could go, okay, it was somebody clowning. I think it's more to it. We just don't know what yet. So be prepared for that. Now, another thing that happened yesterday, if you were out and about on your lunch hour trying to get back, whoops, here you go. We had a little boo-boo here. This is Highway 11 and 80. This is Jimmy Rogers Parkway here. If you were coming from the Mississippi Highway Patrol office, getting back on I-20 there or coming on into Meridian northward there. Log truck came here, and probably the best you can say was going a little too fast for the curve, and the truck toppled over. Took several hours to clean that up, but they're back together now and got everything cleaned up. Now, let's talk about, we'll come back to closings. Another thing that happened last night, shootings in Meridian. It did happen, and I'm sure that you're aware of this. We had two shootings last night. 53rd was the first. It was a single car. It was called in as a car wreck at first. But by all means, this was a drive-by shooting, or let's call it a walk-by shooting. The driver of the car was shot up. He wrecked, hit a light pole. The car caught fire. The Meridian Police Department had to go extinguish the fire, which they did. The gentleman that was driving the car received a gunshot wound to the forearm. It's a miracle that worse did not happen. It is. And let me go here and let me just show you what I'm pulling up here, so you can take a look at this here in just a little while as you go to the web page there. Let's go over to the Scotty Ray report. Now, with this right here's where my graphics are from this. This is the car that caught fire. This was on 53rd Avenue is where this happened. Again, they put the car fire out. He was rushed to the hospital. He's going to be okay. This is the second time I've seen this, and I've heard of it. 2 times there's been shootings. A gang, and I'll call it a gang, I guess that's the proper word for it, of 8 to 10 people walking, has something to do with music videos floating around Meridian, and there's been shootings with this. The young man that was shot over in the apartments the other night, they were also on foot in a group of about 8 or 10, all carrying weapons. They shot. That 14-year-old boy was wounded and shot in the chest. So there's a tie-in. Whether it's the same group, I don't know. Meridian Police Department is investigating that. Now, also, overnight, I have not gotten the details, but more to follow. I've contacted the Meridian Police Department this morning for details, and they're going to get this to me here in just a little bit. We had another person that was rushed to the hospital by private car that was shot last night also. I don't know where, waiting for all of that. But I do know some areas here. Let me pull this up so I can tell you where shots fired last night. This was after the shooting that took place, the gentleman in the car. Frank Berry Courts, a drive-by. Frank Berry Courts again an hour or two later. Shots were fired in the 300 block of 63rd Place. Shots were fired again, St. Francisville. These three areas right here, St. Francisville, Magnolia Apartments, and Old Marion Road, there were no reports of injury. Then we had the person taken to the hospital, and then the person that was shot in the car there. So that's a rundown of shootings last night. Bad, isn't it? I could go on and on and on. It was a busy night for the Meridian Police Department as they tried to handle all of these. I'm telling you, it's not good. Y'all pay attention. And I don't say these things to scare people. That is not my mission here. Your safety is why I tell you where things happen. Point blank, plain and simple. You and your family mean a lot to us, and we want you to be safe and know what's happening in our community. That's right. Coming back, we're going to do a quick recap of weather, and we'll go deeper into all of this stuff this morning at 8 o'clock. I hope you'll join us at 8 o'clock as we'll go live again with Candace and dig deeper into what's going on in our area. All of that's on the way. Stay close. Don't rush off. We'll tell you more.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Patrick Allen Companies services and repairs all brands of overhead doors, residential and commercial. Our service technicians are factory trained and have over 125 years of combined experiences. At Patrick Allen Companies, we are not interested in being the biggest, just the best. At Patrick Allen Companies, our philosophy is simple. We want to give you more than you expect. We are just 4 miles south of Meridian on Highway 145. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
See, Patrick, they can help you out as well. A lot of great specials and things going on. Let's talk about closings. If you have not contacted me yet as to if you've got a closing, a school closing, or your business is going to be shutting down a little bit earlier today, contact me, inbox me, or email me at scottyray1969@aol.com. And yes, people do make fun of my email address because it's so old. I've got a Gmail, but that's on my phone. All right, let's go back and talk about closings. So let's go back to the website, southernsammedia.network. Here are our closings that we have of early dismissals. Newton County Schools will dismiss today at 2 p.m. Union Public Schools will dismiss at 2:15. Lauderdale County Schools is a virtual day, already planned, so that worked out great. Immediate Care Family Clinic closing at 3 o'clock today. Rankin County Schools, I got word that they will be closed today. Russell Christian Academy will dismiss it by 3 p.m. today. RCA Preschool dismiss at 3, and Pottersville Daycare will dismiss by 3 p.m. East Mississippi Community College will dismiss at 2 p.m. Kemper County Schools, 12 noon dismissal. No after-school activities. And the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians Tribal Schools will dismiss at 1 o'clock today. Now, if you've got a school or a business that I have not mentioned, please contact me. We want to make absolutely sure that everybody knows all of this. So be aware. We will keep you up to date with this, and we will refresh it. And I will repost this here in just a few moments to make sure that you've got the absolute latest on the closings in the area. Again, we're coming back in roughly 1 hour now, and there's a lot more news that I'm just not going to get to today in our little 30-minute segue. We'll cover all of this coming up at 8 a.m. I hope you'll come back and join us. A big thank you. Again, thank y'all for watching. If you wouldn't mind, share my page today so that people will be aware of the weather. We're going to give you street-by-street coverage as this storm approaches. As always, if you encounter bad weather, snap a picture, send that to us so we can post that so others can see exactly what happens, where it is in relation to where they live. And we'll give you all of those details to keep you up to date with the very latest. Thank you all for joining. Miss Gail Gafford, you be careful. I know you're heading out west today to do some traveling. Be careful. If you need anything, let me know, and we'll do our best to walk you through it. All right, we'll see you back in 1 hour as we continue. And again, as you'll notice, we do, and let me bring this up, and we'll get more into it later, but name change. You've been seeing me say the Scotty Ray Report. We do so much more than weather now. Weather is a part of it. I'm going to officially change the name of the channel to the Scotty Ray Report, to where it includes news and weather and everything there. I'll still use Scotty Ray's weather because there's a lot of weather goes in with this, but eventually the name of it will change to Scotty Ray Report because we do so much more. It's confusing to do more and it just be called weather. So kind of expand the boundaries a little bit there to encompass it all, so to speak, if that makes sense. Thank y'all for joining me. I'll see you in just a little less than an hour now. It's 7 o'clock. We'll see you back at 8 as we'll go live with Candace, and our special guest this morning will be the Lauderdale County Emergency Management. See you soon.
Scotty Ray's weather is brought to you by our following partners: